Niklsun here, and welcome to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and on this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll be going over all of the day's movie news, as well as going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's Hot Topics. Alright guys, this episode today is an update on the DC Cinematic Universe. So we're going to be talking about everything from The Flash to Suicide Squad to Aquaman. So strap yourselves in. This is going to be a DC Cinematic Universe episode. So yeah, let's get started. So over the past couple of weeks, there have been a lot of big reveals, and I've been holding off on the Suicide Squad reveals, mainly because we've been getting so many so frequently that I figured might as well just do an episode where I talk about the majority of them. Instead of doing, every episode be like, oh, and this was Suicide Squad. No, people just get tired of hearing about it. So, because I'm already at the point where, all right, okay, yeah, we're a year and a half away from the movie coming out. Stop revealing information. Even though it's not really that spoilery, there's been a lot of things that have come out that, and even through the grapevine, we've heard this was information they were hoping to reveal at Comic-Con. And so I think a lot of the win from DC's sales has been taken out because of all these reveals. But anyway, when it comes to Suicide Squad, first off, we got our first cast photo from Suicide Squad from director David Ayer. And there were, a lot of people said, well, Jared Leto's not in the picture. And well, he's out on tour with his band. But on top of that, David Ayer they released another photo later on that day or the next day or something like that. And it was making fun of the Killing Joke. Well, it was in homage to the Killing Joke, where he had the green hair. He didn't have any makeup on, but he had the green hair, and he was taking the picture, and the camera was sideways. And so it was a nice little homage to that. But the cast photo revealed a couple of new additions. It revealed Jim Parrick, Ike Barinholtz, and Adam Beach. Now, I didn't know really any of these guys were going to be. I thought actually that Ike Barinholtz looked in that picture like somebody else who had already been cast in the movie. But we still didn't know when the cast photo came out. They didn't reveal who these guys were. Well, that apex predator El Mayimbe over at Latino Review found out who they're going to play. And so if you guys, if you're watching the show, you're not all that worried about spoilers, because this isn't even really spoilers, but apparently Jim Parrick will be playing the role of Deathstroke. He won out over Joe Manganiello. Now, for those of you who are unaware of Jim Parrick, the one movie that I remember him in, actually there's two of them. He was most recently in Fury, where he played one of the other tank commanders. And he was also, I believe, in Battle Los Angeles, where he played one of the squad members who is one of the main characters in the movie. I think he makes it more towards the end of the film. I think he makes it to the end. I'm not 100% sure. But he's going to be playing Deathstroke, which I think is actually really cool, because even though he has this kind of jokey-looking face and he looks like he could play the sarcastic jerk, he is a big dude. And I think he could portray the role of Deathstroke. I think he could be physically intimidating, which is what the character of Deathstroke needs to be. Ike Barinholtz, this one was really surprising to me, because I've really only seen him in Neighbors, the one with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. He played Seth Rogen's best friend. And he's going to be apparently, this is again, according to El Mayimbe, he's going to be playing the role of Hugo Strange. Not Doctor Strange, Dr. Hugo Strange. So it's, yeah, I know, DC, Marvel, don't worry. They have a Kara Danvers instead of a Carol Danvers. So they're not really all that worried with confusing people. But I'm really surprised to see that Hugo Strange is going to be in the movie, because that means that he's going to be likely a Batman villain in either the first or second standalone Batman film. Because for a while, Hugo Strange was rumored to be the villain in The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I don't believe that Christopher Nolan had ever intended of using anybody other than Bane, but because it was right around the time that I think it was Arkham Origins was coming out, and Hugo Strange was the villain in that game. And so a lot of people thought they're going to be pulling ties from both, and this movie's going to be about that. So it's really cool that we're getting Hugo Strange, because he's a really twisted villain. And Ike Barinholtz, you getting somebody like a comedian to be in this role, I think is the right course of action, because he can play maniacal. He can play crazy and kooky. And I think that's the right way to go. I really do. I don't think getting a dramatic actor would have been a bad way to go, but getting a comedic actor means that they can play menacing, but they can also play crazy. And they can play it in a fun way, which I think is the direction that they're going with this. But again, only time will tell. And then Adam Beach, who came right out of left field, I mean, I didn't expect to see him in there at all, will apparently be playing the role of Raven. Now, I don't really know Raven all that much. I'm not that familiar. If you guys want to go ahead in the comment section and just update that on what that character is like, how they interact with people, all that kind of stuff. Raven for dummies, if you are. So, yeah, those are the three main guys that have been added. But on top of that, I'm gonna try this one. Adewale Akinoye Agbajabe. I got that last one wrong completely. I butchered it. I'm so sorry. But he has been cast as Killer Croc. Now, and then on top of that, so I'll go through these. Raymond Obluwale will be doing mocap for King Shark. And Scott Eastwood is said to be playing Steve Trevor, who will most likely later on become Wonder Woman's love interest in the standalone movie. Now, save for Deathstroke. A lot like this goes back into my conversation from the last episode I did where I talked about too many characters. This is where a lot of these comments are coming from. Because they're like, well, they're throwing everybody in this movie. Right, yes. You do realize Arkham Asylum is going to be in the film, right? Arkham Asylum is going to be a big part of the movie, which means a lot of these characters are going to be seen in Arkham. We're going to see them very quickly. We're going to see probably a 2-minute segment showcasing all of the characters. Maybe even Hugo Strange is working on Raven and Deathstroke is guarding the door. And that's how they're all introduced. But I have a feeling that at the end of this movie, while there may have been an earlier report that stated that this might actually be the end of the film, but I'm not 100% sure, because nobody out there that I'm aware of outside of Elma Imbi has read the script, and I don't think he's read a current version of the script. But I believe there's going to be a prison break at the end of the movie. I think that's how the Joker's going to escape. I think that's how King Shark is going to escape. I think that's how Killer Croc is going to escape. And that's how we're going to get introduced to these characters. We're going to see them for maybe a minute or two. And then they're going to be gone. They're not going to be heavily featured characters. They are introducing them in this movie so that when they pop up in another movie, we don't need to worry about how the hell did they get there, and waste 5 to 10 minutes in each film explaining how did this person get there. It just so happens that they were already like this. They were in a prison and there was a big prison riot and a breakout and they got out. So that's how I feel that it's going to be. But, except for Deathstroke. Deathstroke's going to be a character, I think, that is competing with the Suicide Squad. I think that he's going to be on Amanda Waller's payroll. I think that he might be keeping an eye on them. I think that he might be the one holding the detonator. And, I mean, who knows? There might even be a fight between Deadshot and Deathstroke, which I think that'd be awesome, especially considering the fact that Will Smith is playing Deadshot. So, I mean, we're still so far out. The movie is only just started filming. I think it actually just started filming, or actually no, they just had their read through. So I think it starts filming in like a week or two. So we're probably going to start getting some set pictures from this as well. A lot of movies start filming around this time. I find that. I think it was last year, within the span of a month, we had Terminator Genesis, Jurassic World, and there were a couple of others that all started filming in April. And I think Age of Ultron was one of them that started filming in either March or April. Batman v Superman started shooting, I think, in April or May. They all started filming around the same time. So it's really cool. And right now we're getting Captain America Civil War is going to start filming or has already started filming. We have Suicide Squad's going to start filming soon. It's just, this is a really cool time right now because we're getting a lot of movies that just start filming. So we're going to get a lot of set picks. We're going to get a lot of ideas as to when or how these movies are going to play out and what some of these characters might look like. Deadpool's shooting right now as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things about what's going on right now with the movies. I mean, we're getting information about Suicide Squad, which is a movie that 2 years ago, I don't think anybody ever thought we were going to get. I mean, we have Phil Lord and Chris Miller are working on The Flash, which is going to be a story that I'm going to be talking about here in a second. You've got all of these great minds working on these movies, and this is just a great time to be a film fan. So, speaking of which, excuse me, I really do apologize about that. Speaking of Lord and Miller have been confirmed to be working on a treatment for The Flash. Now, I got to talk about this for a second because This brings to mind DC, the report that came out about DC saying no jokes. No jokes policy whatsoever. This is going to be serious film series. I don't believe that was as literal as they were trying to make it out to be. My interpretation of that was, no, silly. Don't go silly. Don't go slapstick. Don't have it as lighthearted as Marvel. Make our films feel as though they could, and I emphasize the word could, exist within our world. Because look at Man of Steel. Man of Steel is really the only thing we have to base this off of, but let's just look at it for a second. Excluding the fact that an alien, which is likely to happen, I mean, I'm not going to get into this debate, but there are 100 billion stars in our galaxy alone, and there are 100 billion galaxies that we're aware of, in terms of an estimate. There's other life out there. So, putting that aside, looking at what happened in Man of Steel, that was, if Superman was introduced into our world, the way that we know it, with the politics of our world, with the conditions of our planet, all that kind of stuff. It was, what would happen if these superheroes were unveiled or unleashed in our world? When you look at Marvel, Marvel is our world a couple of years in the future. I mean, you look at Iron Man. Just Iron Man alone. He has technology, he has full 3D holograms that he can manipulate and interact with. They can, using photographs, they can fully and artistically create a 3D render of an environment, which cannot be done. You cannot do it to the level that they did in that movie, which means it's set in the future. And that's not from alien tech. That was in Iron Man 1 and then Iron Man 2. So that was before alien tech. So don't give me that argument. But looking at how some of these characters are going to be introduced in this world, you can still have moments of levity. You can still have humor, but just don't make it slapstick. Don't make it like Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't make it joke. Don't make an Iron Man. Don't make a Tony Stark. Have your own characters. Have them not be as jokey, but you can still have moments of levity, which to me, because hearing that report and then hearing Lord and Miller coming on board, well, it's going to be full of jokes. So while I do really like the fact that these guys are involved, here's my worry. DC has come out, Warner Brothers and DC have come out and stated their TV universe is 100% separate from their movie universe. While we don't have anything to go on outside of the fact that Lord and Miller are joining this film, as it stands right now, I don't see what could be different. I don't see what they could do differently to the movie that the TV show hasn't already done, because the TV show feels like a Lord and Miller TV show. I mean, obviously with a few more hands in there, but it's a very fun show. It does have moments of despair, and it has moments of, serious tone, but it also has a lot of moments of levity. You have his real name's Carlos. Why am I drawing a blank on Cisco? You have Cisco on the show, and he is just hilarious. He's a great character. He worried me at first, but he has grown to be my favorite character on the show. Harrison Wells is a very close second, but if you've been watching the show, you'll know that has some strings attached to it. But what could Lord and Miller do differently, outside of the fact that they could make it more serious? But my whole purpose on this, I have no problem whatsoever with DC separating their TV universe from their movie universe. I think that's a smart decision. Would I also have been happy if they had connected the two? Yeah, because I would have loved to have seen what Grant Gustin could have done on the big screen. But if they're not going to do anything that different from what we already have on the TV show, why do it? More importantly, why do it differently? Why do it the same thing, but with a different cast and a different creative team? To me, that doesn't make any sense. You already have something that is a built-in fan base that is being executed very well, and yet you're not going to utilize that. That to me is where it's coming across as, huh? But if Lord and Miller come in and they have a completely different take on the character, maybe they're doing Wally West. Maybe they're doing Bart Allen. I don't know how you do Bart Allen without there being Barry Allen, but still. I'll be very interested to take or to see what they're going to be doing with this project, because to me, I don't see what they could do differently. Well, again, I love the fact that these two are involved, and I think that they are one of the right duos to get the sensibilities of this character correct. I don't know what they could do differently that the TV show hasn't already given us. And that's my only issue. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Am I correct on this? Am I completely wrong? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you happy with Lord and Miller? All that kind of stuff. So let me know in the comment section below. And our last DC update that we have here, while it hasn't been confirmed, this has been alluded to for a while, that Warner Brothers is very keen on getting James Wan involved in their DC cinematic universe. And, I mean, they have a great working relationship with him. They've worked on the Conjuring films. I think that he didn't do Socks, that was Universal. Lionsgate. He's done a couple of films with Warner Brothers, but The Conjuring is one of the biggest ones. And they love working with him. They want to keep in the James Wan business. Rumor has it that he is being courted to direct Aquaman. Now, on first glance, even after watching Fury 7, I thought to myself, I don't know, because Fury 7, while the big bombastic action sequences were done really well, the up-close hand-to-hand combat, to me, the one scene that stands out is the scene in the bus with Paul Walker fighting Tony Jaa for just a minute. But the camera work, to me, was a little shoddy, because it was almost like it was almost like they were standing there and just going like this with the camera, going like moving in and coming back out, moving in and coming back out, because it was a little off-putting to me. It almost felt like somebody was standing there, not getting out of the way of these two fighting. And then they would come close and you would go, oh, I need to back away. Oh, no, they're still fighting. I want to come in closer. Like, to me, it was a little jarring. The way that the remainder of that sequence was shot was incredible. The planes, or the cars skydiving out, the parachutes coming down, them landing, them going along, driving up the route, having the other cars come in and taking care of them and all that stuff, and then having Jason Statham's character come in and all that crazy stuff. It was really well handled. A lot of the other sequences were really well handled as well. But to me, the up-close, hand-to-hand combat scenes were the ones that he needs a little bit more help with. And Aquaman, well, I don't think there's going to be a lot of hand-to-hand combat, save for maybe the end, depending on who the villain is. I think he does have the chops to do it, as long as he gets some help with the up-close hand-to-hand combat, because that was the one area I felt that he needed a little bit of help with. But, yeah, James Wan doing Aquaman with Jason Momoa, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because it'll be, to me, it almost seems like it'll be the utmost realistic interpretation, as you can say that with a straight face, which I clearly can't. The most realistic interpretation of the character of Aquaman would be in the hands of somebody like James Wan. So it's gonna be tough to know who we actually want to see direct this movie until we know what the movie's going to be about. All we know is that it's an Aquaman film. We don't know if it's an origin story, which I hope it's not, because apparently the character is going to be introduced in Batman v Superman. I don't want to see a character introduced and then go back and see, well, how did they get to that point? Let's spend 2 hours in figuring that out. No, you can figure that out in 5 minutes. We don't need to stretch that out over an entire movie. But, yeah, I mean, James Wan, all these studios right now are acquiring just top-notch talent. They are realizing that directors are the stars now. Directors are what can sell a movie. Now, not to the wide majority of audience out there, but to the people who have the largest voices, to the people who can spread the word to the most. Like, go check out this movie, and then when they hear it's done by this guy, that guy's name then gets recognition. And when he comes out, that's how Christopher Nolan got to be where he is. I mean, not only is he a phenomenal director, but word of mouth. People love Christopher Nolan movies. I mean, I don't see James Wan getting to that point. I don't see him being a fan favorite to that sense, but I think he's a very capable director. With him, he's got The Conjuring 2 that he's working on at Warner Brothers right now. So yeah, I mean, the movie's not coming out. Like, Aquaman's not coming out till July of 2018. I think it's right after The Flash. So yeah, I mean, that gives him more than enough time to work on it. The Conjuring 2 is going to be coming out, I believe, in 2016 is when they've set the release date for that movie, which gives him a full 2 years to work on Aquaman. More than enough time. The script is already being worked on. So that's my interpretation. I think that he could work. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think that he actually has what it takes? Do you think he'd be a good director? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if we do get more information about this topic, then I will definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll about do it for this episode of Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click that subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You get updates whenever a new video is posted. You can also follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also give the Facebook fan page a like at facebook.com/movie news with Niklsun. If you ever have a topic or a question you'd like to have talked about on the show, you can go ahead and put a comment in the comment section, or you can email me at movienewswithniklsun@gmail.com. And on every Friday episode, I'll try to get to as many as I can. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.